live. And just to let you guys know, if you missed this live, I'm going to be editing and cutting out the dead space. So, yeah, that's about it. Let me check this on YouTube. I'm on Riverside. I'm trying something different. Let me just see if they got me live here. Yep, they sure do. Streaming software. Let me edit this. Give me a second if you're here. Leave a message, a comment, and I'll be happy to answer you. I just got to change over some things here to make sure we have a title and description. Okay, let me get the title here. Copy. All right. All right, let's change the title. Boom. And change the video description so we can get rolling here. Okay, there we go. All right. Let me just pop this in. Chloe, look at the live box here. I have to, I don't know if it'll let me do this. Isn't that cool? Why is it not letting me edit this? There it goes. Upload thumbnail. And playlists, live stream Sundays. All right, let me put in my tags here. That's okay. All right. Let me open up the chat here. Question and answers. Hey, Leanne. Oh, Leanne, how are you? Hello from Cebu. Nice to see you. So, welcome everyone to our Sunday live stream. Feel free to ask me anything. Leanne is here. Let's pop her up. She said hello from Cebu. And she's seems to be here a lot, so I appreciate that, Leanne. Leanne. You told me how to say that correctly. I remember. All right. So I'm going to cut out the dead space on this live, and I'm going to make it into a video. Probably be out hopefully within 24 hours, as long as YouTube obliges. Good afternoon, sir. Ann Angel. There she is. And Angel Perez. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. It's around 5:17 here in the Philippines. I want to open this up with just I use this chat GPT sometimes for just prayers. And I just wanted to open this up with a prayer. This is for the believers or people that don't believe. It's up to you. I'm not pushing anything. I just had this question and I want to share it with you guys. I asked in chat GPT, give me the New Testament Bible passages about how to properly pray, because I had that question. And I got a lot of different passages. Let me see if I can share my screen with you. And I can. So I think you guys can see this. There you go. Hopefully you can see this. So I'm going to be scrolling around here. And so here's what I asked. As I said, give me the New Testament Bible passages about how to properly pray. And I just want to share this with you guys. I'm a spiritual person. I don't see myself as super religious or anything, but I do believe in Jesus, and so that's why I asked, how do I pray? And this came from Matthew 6:5, verse 13. And when you pray, you must not be like hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues. But when you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret. And when you pray, do not heap up empty phrases as the Gentiles do. Pray then like this. And before I get into that prayer, what they're talking about the synagogues during those times in history, the rabbis or the teachers that would pray in the synagogues, or the people for that matter, but usually the rabbis that would be teachings, they would stand up and give their praise for their prayers. And I don't know if it was from the Old Testament or, but they would do it in front of a lot of people. So what it said here in Matthew 6:5, verse 13 is to do it in private. And that's what I really like. That's what our family does. That's what I do. So this is the prayer. I love this prayer. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts or sins or transgressions, as we also have forgiven our debtors or people who have sinned against us, transgressed us. Maybe so we don't hold grudges, we're just forgiving our sins. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And it says this passage lays out three core principles: sincerity, pray privately, not for show; simplicity, avoid empty phrases or formulaic repetition; structure, use the Lord's Prayer as a model, honoring God, seeking His will, presenting needs, and requesting forgiveness and protection. So, anyway, you guys, this is really good because it gives you a lot of different answers in different parts of the Bible. This is from the New Testament. Mark 11:22, pray with faith. It talks about that. And Jesus answered them, have faith in God. Truly, I say to you, whoever says to the mountain, be taken up and thrown into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says will come to pass, it will be done for him. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. So, for this one, this will be the last one I go through. I'm not going to preach to you or anything. It's just I asked this question, and the reason I asked it is because I wanted to find out these things. I asked this a few weeks ago, and this one is really good because as a spiritual person, this tells me that if I have faith, like if the mountain could be thrown into the sea, if I believe my faith is so strong that it can't be shaken, like even maybe I have doubts sometimes, but if I really keep imagining that whatever I want, it's going to happen. And the way I do it is just in private. What I do, my thoughts on this is I put it into my imagination. Like my goal for YouTube is just to get my message out there. It's my purpose. And to get my message out there, and then for people to like my message. There'll be people that want to hear what I say. They like the videos and they want to hear it. They come to the live streams. And you guys, I'll get to the messages and the comments in a few minutes. If there's comments there, the screen I'm in, I can't see. But after I'm just done with my spiel here, I will get to the comments. So please hang around, especially if you find this interesting. But what I do is I put in my imagination what what I want done, but I don't see it as I want it done. I see it as already done. It's completed, and I have full faith in it. So every night or every morning when I wake up, and every night before I go to bed, I will do my best to imagine that what I believe done, that it's already been done. So let me give you an example with that. The YouTube channel. I used to say I want 100,000 subscribers because in that way, it's not like I want to just lift myself up for 100,000 subscribers, but it means that my message got out and people were interested in my message, and that God moves through me to give me my message, and that means that in my purpose that the message has been obtained by people and they like it. But then I said, why am I going to be like start like that? Why don't I just say just a huge vision of it? Like, why, if I can believe in 100,000, why not 1 million? Why not? I'm not, I want to stay humble in this, but in private, this is my thoughts. Like 1 million subscribers means that my message was really received, and the message that has gone out to the people, they really are, they want to see, they want to hear more of that. They love the videos and they want more of that. And that's my dream. So that's the way I do that. What it talks about Mark here, 11:22, verse 24, pray with faith. So anyway, that's what I'm going to talk about on this one. But just so you know, there's a lot of different ones that ChatGPT pulled up, and it's very accurate and very good. And this is one way that ChatGPT can help us um, being authentic humans and just pull up this stuff, and you can compare it and just see how accurate it is. And this is helpful stuff. Okay, so let me stop sharing my screen and get back to you guys. Okay, I got messages here, comments, more comments. Okay, we're going to go back to the first comments. And welcome to our Sunday live streams. Ask me anything as our lives, our Q&A should be live, but it's okay. Question answers. Okay, so Leanne said hello from Cebu. Welcome, Leanne. And then Ann Angel is next. Good afternoon, sir. God bless you always. Thank you so much, Ann Angel Perez. God bless you too. And you guys, I'm gonna edit this. So if you're not watching this live, you missed the live stream. I'm gonna go ahead and edit this out and put it back into YouTube so you can watch it later. Leanne, you're very welcome. Thank you, Leanne. Sunrise. Hey, man. Hi, Sunrise in April. Great name, Sunrise in April. Show on stream, this one. Yeah, I can see it. Great. I'm glad that you could see my screen. Oh, there he is, my buddy Joey. You guys go to this channel if you haven't. Um, Adobo and Apple Pie. Joey just started making videos again, and he's getting serious about his YouTube channel. So, Mayan Gabi, Joey, to you too. Mayan Gabi Pud, or Mayan Gabi, Mayong Gabi Sad. Thank you, Joey, for being here. Thank you, Leanne, Carla. I love it. Prayer, yes. Yes. How do you guys like the stream today? You like my background? I'm at Riverside FM. I've been trying different things every week. What is this? Norman, if you touch but one, is that not sufficient? Huh, Norman, I don't know what that means. Can you explain that one? Sorry. You guys leave comments. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, I don't have any tags here. Let me look at the stream on my phone also. Oh, great. You like it's cool. Yeah, thank you so much. I just think this is easier to use, you guys, this Riverside FM, the Riverside studio. But the only drawback is I can't see as well the entire things that are going on, but I can easily answer your comments. I can just click that up and I can share my screen pretty easily. So you guys, I want to show you also, if you're interested, some people have asked me um, what music I use in my videos. So let me share my screen with you on this one also. Thank you, Leanne, for giving me feedback. I like how the comments are displayed in the live stream. Looks pro. Thank you, Joey. Yeah, it looks great. Yeah. On my side, it looks great. So on your end, I think it looks great too. And that purple colored background, I love it. This is free to use, you guys. But the thing is, you got to go back to I don't mind doing this at all. You got to go back to your live stream, the one that's on YouTube, and you got to go into your settings and then set up everything in there, like your picture and the title and such. Let me actually, okay, let me turn this on. All right, cool. Okay, we're good now. I looks like I got everything in the stream. Okay, what I want to show you, I like how thank you, Joey, very much about the comments. I want to share my something with you guys also. So let me share my screen. So this one is I go to artlist.io, and these are the songs I've used on my videos in the last 7 days. But if you go to the last 30 days, like maybe I've done 4 or 5 videos, you can see all the songs I've used. And it'd be cool to play those songs right now, but since I have my headset on, we can't really do that. So you can see all my songs, but I'm thinking of putting my songs in the videos and just put each song. So if people are interested in knowing what song I use, this is a paid subscription. And I think it's very worth it because music is everything. You know, we all love music, and I really like to put emotionally touching music in with the videos. So that's that. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, let me go back to the chat here. All right, what else can we talk about today? Um, I have a new video I'm working on. and it's going to be coming out next Saturday. If you guys don't know, if you watch this, if you're here watching now, or if you watch it later after I edit, I'm going to, our videos are always on Saturday, and I usually release them around 9 in the morning, just so you guys know that. Oh, thank you, Joey. Appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. Leanne Carla, how long did it take you to set up your YouTube channel from one to the current day? Well, I had this channel for a year. I think I started the channel in January, but I didn't start making videos until August of last year. Let me see. I started the channel January of 2024, but I didn't start making videos till August. So my first video is August, I believe 22nd or something like that. It's in August though. And so how long is that? August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So 9 months. It's 9 months, and but before I started this YouTube channel, I had a couple other channels. I think I had around 8 other channels, crypto, a couple crypto channels, and then a business channel, and then I had a couple YouTube channels related to Expat, and I had one that did really well. I think we built up to 10,000 subscribers, and then it unfortunately it got I lost. I couldn't get into my business email, and I made a mistake of putting that into my business, that YouTube channel. So I had a problem with my business email, and I couldn't. Uh, YouTube said they would help me find that, um, and within 30 days, if you can't discover that email that you had an issue with, that was considered lost, you would lose your channel. And that's what happened. They couldn't help me recover it. It was my fault, 100% my fault, Leanne. 100% my fault. So I lost it. So to answer your question, I started YouTube around 7 or 8 years ago with different channels. And to get where I am now with all the editing, storytelling, I think I'm improving up until now. But for my first, I don't know, first 7 years, I think I sucked. My my videos sucked because I didn't know how to edit properly, and I do everything myself. But the good thing about it is um, if you if you want to do something and you put it into your mind and you manifest it by imagining it true, no matter how long it takes, if you believe it true and your faith can't be shaken, God's going to make it happen. And that's the laws of the universe, not man's laws, not my laws. So I believe that, and then we're around 18,000 subscribers. So for me, that's phenomenal. I'm super happy and super thankful, grateful to everyone for subscribing and to watching my videos. I'm very happy, and I'm just going to continue because this is what I'm manifesting even more. So I hope that answered your question, Guian. If you have more questions on it, ask me. If you have a direct question you want to ask me about YouTube and things I do or things that you might be thinking about doing, I would be happy to answer that comment. Question and answers. I'll answer anything. Followed your YouTube content, sir. Edgardo Gas says, "Hey Edgardo, hey Edgardo, I want to say thank you for subscribing and for for following my channel, sir. And I notice you're watching so many videos and you're leaving comments on them, and I'm answering all those. Just so you guys know, I try to pace myself with the comments, especially if I have a video that I've been blessed enough that's done really well. I'll answer every comment. Sometimes I can't get back to the if you comment again, but if you comment on the comment on it, I'll get back to you. And if you comment again, I'll do my best to get back to you. So I answer every comment to the best of my abilities. If someone's very leaves a comment that's very mean, degrading, there's nothing wrong with criticizing things or thinking I should do things in a different way. But if someone's super mean and condescending and attacking, I will hide that person's comments from the channels. But everybody else, you're free to speak your mind. You're very welcome, Leanne. I'm thankful to you asking these questions and commenting here. Yes, sir. There's Edgardo. Maktub is written. What does that mean, Maktub? It is written. What does that mean, Leanne? I can look it up if maybe that's a Filipino word that I don't know. Let's share my screen on this. Okay. So let's put that. I don't know if that's a word or Liam. Back to. Okay. We'll stop sharing that. Okay. It's in the book. Oh, it's in the book, The Alchemy. Oh, wow. Okay. I'll check that out. Tell me about Leanne. Tell me about The Alchemy, that book. Ah, it's Messiah. Yeah, it's okay. I'm sorry. I'm hard headed. Someone. Gai ulu ko. No problem admitting that. Gai ulu ko. It's okay. Yeah, that's funny. No problem. Let's do something. This will be interesting. Let's share the screen again. And let's go to, I'll share this as soon as I open up a new chat. Okay. Okay, we're going to go there, Leanne, the alchemist. Let me copy this. Let's share our screen again. No, you don't have to be sorry. It's no problem. It's pretty funny though. Okay, oops. Share screen. There we go. Chat GPT. Share. Okay. I think you guys can see this. Let's go to O3 though, because this is more advanced reasoning. And maybe let's not do deep research because it takes too long. Let's see if it knows that I'm talking. I think you're talking about the book, right? Yeah. Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist follows Santiago, a restless Andalusian shepherd who dreams of finding a hidden treasure near the Egyptian pyramids. Believing the dream is prophetic, He sells his flock and crosses the Strait of Gibraltar into North Africa. During his journey, he is robbed, works for a crystal. He's robbed, works for a crystal merchant to rebuild his funds, studies omens with an English alchemy student, and crosses the Sahara with a cavern bound for the oasis of Al Fayoum. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing this. There he meets Fatima, his soulmate. Yeah, I heard of this. I heard of this, Liana. This is great. And Ignamic, sorry, powerful alchemist who urges him to pursue his personal legend, no matter the cost. Wow, this is awesome. After surviving tribal warfare and near death ordeals, Santiago reaches the pyramids only to discover the treasure was buried all along. Let me get rid of this. So Santiago reached the pyramids only to discover the treasure is buried all along beneath the sycamore tree where he first had his dream. Wow. So let's say that again. After surviving tribal warfare and near death ordeals, Santiago reaches the pyramids only to discover the treasure was buried all along beneath the sycamore tree where he first had his dream. The real riches lie in the wisdom, love, and self belief he earned en route. This is great. This is great. Kohl's parable insists that wholehearted pursuit of one's dream is a spiritual imperative. See, this is what we were just talking about, right? When I was reading from the Bible, from the scriptures. This is perfect. This is great, Leanne. Thank you so much. I love this. Kohl's parable insists that wholehearted pursuit of one's dream is a spiritual imperative. It's a must. Challenges are signposts, not stop signs. Love expands when rooted in mutual purpose, and genuine wealth is measured in self knowledge and wonder, not coins. Wow. Challenge, this is so unbelievable. Challengers, signposts, not stop signs. Love expands when rooted in mutual purpose. So your purpose, our purpose, should be mutually beneficial. So we'll say mutual purpose. If it's especially, maybe that means God's purpose is aligned with your purpose. And genuine wealth is measured in self knowledge and wonder. And genuine wealth is measured in self knowledge and wonder, not coins. I feel that. I totally get that. I totally get that. Abundant wealth is much different than just wealth. Just wealth, like kind of earn wealth. We live our life just to earn money. But genuine wealth, love, finding our purpose. And the big difference in this too, genuine wealth would be if one would say, I want to be wealthy, instead of saying, I am wealth. I am wealth. I am love. I am forgiven. I am hopeful. Instead of saying I am healthy or I want to be healthy, I am health. Of saying I am joyful, instead of saying I want to be joyful, I hope I can be joyful. That's setting yourself up for failure instead of saying I am joyful. This message is like that because God is the great I am, but we are made in God's image, men and women. So we have God. God is everywhere. God's made everything. It's already done. It's already completed. Man and woman, we are parts of God. So I am health. I am wealth. I am joyful. I am abundant. It's much different than being hopeful and hoping that you will get that someday. And then when we say things like I am poor, I am lost, I am angry, I am jealous, I am envious, I wish I had what he has. Yeah? We're saying God's going to gift us with that also. So pick your brainwashing. Listen to your heart and the universal answer. Explains its enduring appeal across cultures and generations. Wonderful. Thank you so much for this one. Thank you so much for this. I'm going to yell to my daughter for a second and then I'll get back to the messages here. Grow Where Planted by Norman Zimmer. Hey, Norman. Yeah, grow where planted, but sometimes where we're planted, we need to make changes in our lives because God's pulling us somewhere else. So maybe we're planted somewhere already in purpose. And then, like in examples with many people before us, there's examples in many stories and in many passages in the Bible where people have been planted by God and then they're uprooted and planted somewhere else. So I don't know if you call that uprooted, but in love, they were led somewhere else. Hence, I'm here in the Philippines as a simple person, not comparing myself to those great people in the Bible. I'm just a simple person. Zen, David, can you come here up here and turn on the light for me? Thank you. Leanne. Yes, exactly. It's also just like Matthew 7:7. Yes, you're right. Can you? Hi, David. Say hi, David. David, can you turn on that light? I don't know. You're going to have to figure out which switch. There's like 8 switches over there. It might be the second to last on the right, in the middle. Try the middle, last one. Yes, that's it. Perfect. Thank you, David. Okay, we have light. Let's go back to 7:7. Let's go back to that. This is great. I want to make a video on this. Leanne, this is so wonderful to be in purpose. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so let me share my screen and let's go back. Oh, I want to get rid of this. Okay, share screen. Bear with me, you guys. Okay, I hope you guys can see this. So we just went over the alchemists. And don't worry if you came late or if you didn't watch the stream and you're interested, but you're not here on the live stream. I'm going to edit this up and put it in a video so all the points are brought up more without dead space, okay? So the reason we went over the alchemists is because we are comparing and contrasting basically because Leanne brought it up. She brought up, I read Matthew, so she's talking about 7:7. Let's see if it's here. That's one we were talking about from one of my videos before. So let's look that up. Let's look that up. Let's look up Matthew. Okay, give me a second here. We should have used 3, but it's okay. Yes, this is so perfect. Can you guys see this? Can you let me know if you can see the screen well? I can make it a little bigger, I think. Tell me if you can see this well and if you can read everything that's here. If it's a white background, is it okay or do you need it in darker background? Okay, so Matthew 7:7, ask, seek, and knock. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you. Exactly. This is the one I was talking about, I think, last week on a live, Matthew 7:7. Leanne, thank you so much for bringing this up. And you have brought up the alchemist before, and now we went over it. But this is perfect. This is so perfect. It's the same. What the alchemist is saying in that book by Paulo Coelho, if I'm saying it right, ask and it will be given to you. This is the Bible. Ask and it will be given to you. New Testament, right? Matthew 7:7. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you. Context and meaning. Let's see what ChatGPT says. In this succinct encouragement, wait, let's just see if I got a message here. Yes, you guys can see it. Okay, great. Okay. In this succinct encouragement, Jesus invites us to act to an active, expectant prayer life. Ask speaks to bring our needs and desires before God. Seek implies persistence, continuing to look to Him for guidance and truth. Knock suggests boldness and perseverance, trusting that however long it takes, God will open the door in His perfect timing. That is exactly right. Bold confidence. We need not approach God timidly or with half-hearted requests. He welcomes our honest petitions. That's right, honest and strong. Persistent truth. If answers seem delayed, we're called not to lose heart, but to keep seeking His will and timing. That's it right there. Like be patient and keep persisting. Even like if you're thinking of things in your mind, you've asked God and you're imagining it true in your mind. Even if it's been 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, keep going. Sometimes they come fast. Sometimes it takes so many years. But it's not delayed. It's in God's perfect time. Open invitation. Prayer is not a one-way monologue, but a two-way dialogue. Knocking invites an ongoing relationship in which God responds. And how much you knock and how hard you knock is very important because if you just ask one time and you're not serious, you're probably not going to get an answer. And if you just, oh, I'm going to ask for this, I want God to heal my brother is he has health issues. I want God to heal, but I don't believe it's true. I don't think it'll happen, but I'm just asking you, God, to do it, please. And I fall down on the ground on my knees and pray. God's probably not going to answer me because I don't really believe it true in my heart. In our heart, we have to believe it true. And in the Bible, it says, the one I just was reading, if you have faith that even that God can take a mountain and labai it, throw it into the ocean, that's true, that God can do that, and you believe what you want true like that, it's going to happen. And you persevere. We're persistent. In so many people's experiences, faithful people, and I'm not talking about religious people. I'm not talking just about religious people. I'm talking about spiritual people. They do things in a different way. And when Jesus came, he did things in such a different way that the normal society, the Jewish people during that time when he came, the rabbis and others, they didn't understand him and they killed him. They tortured him. They imprisoned him. They dragged him through the streets, whipped him, and beat him and hung him from a cross and put nails in his hands and feet. He suffered for us, and they did that because they didn't understand. They thought he wasn't he wasn't the Son of God. He wasn't God. And so if Jesus came back today, people might do the same thing because the religious people might be so overly religious they can't see. This is him. This is Jesus. He's just talking in a different way, but he's real. That's what happened during those times, during the historic times. So it's just something that's in my mind. So let me stop sharing this and get back to the chat here. So we talked about this. Leanne really gave good information today. Yes, Matthew 7:7. We went over that. And then Joe Odobo and Apple Pie, Joey, said, keep seeking his will and his timing. Yes. And the trick of it is not to follow man's law. We have to follow law, right? But if if it's God's law, if it's universal law laid down by God, that should be followed. Not man telling us to do things a certain way because they believe it's so. But we shouldn't be so rigid at the same time. It's a fine balance. We should be open minded and not rigid. I love that, Joey. Keep seeking his will and his timing. If we keep seeking his will, then and we believe that it will happen in God's time, and we believe that true in our heart, in our deepest heart, no matter how long it takes, then we're knocking. We're just knocking and knocking and patiently waiting. You might hear my kids in the background. Squeaky wheels and persistent widows. Squeaky wheels and persistent widows. Hmm. Norman. Norman, you're so deep. Sneaky wheels and persistent widows. Decipher that, Norman, for us. You're a very deep man. I noticed that in all of your comments. I'm so grateful for your comments in the videos and on the live streams. But I noticed you're a deep man. You're a deep thinker. Squeaky wheels, not sneaky, squeaky wheels and persistent widows. Squeaky wheels, yes. We have to keep asking, keep with the questions. And then I don't know what that other part means. Persistent widows. I'm going to ask ChatGPT in a minute. If Norman doesn't answer that, Norman might not be here. Okay, I got the meaning of this one. I just don't understand the persistent widows part. But this is from ChatGPT. I'm going to pop it in there. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. This idiom dates back to 19th century America and simply means that those who make the most noise or draw the most attention are the ones who receive help or get the whatever. Yes, I think that's what Norman meant. What did Joey say here? Adobo and apple pie. It's funny because last week I was watching videos on how to make good videos, then didn't end up making any videos. I think just doing is the best way. Doing is the best way, and forget about perfecting the process. You you nailed it. You nailed it, Joey. I totally agree with that. And over my time of making videos, I it's still good to watch people to see what they're doing, like what they say. But for me, what I started doing when my videos started gathering more views is I started doing what was in my heart, what my purpose was. I found out what my purpose was from making the videos. I didn't know what my purpose was, um, but I was always asking to be in purpose. And then when I started making my YouTube videos, at some point, I knew that was my purpose, to share stories, not just my stories, but stories of other people, Filipinos, stories from my wife's family. Then, of course, my own stories, family stories, and then stories I learned here in the Philippines. And then ideas that come to me from my heart. And all those things come to me not from my own self. I never will say it's my own. I always say it works through him. So it works through him. It moves my hand. It moves my hands to make the videos. It moves my mind. It moves. So Joey, I totally agree with you with what you said here. Perfect the process is just go about, make the mistakes and learn from them. And then the good things that you do, learn from them. And one thing I want to add to that is that you might learn on your own, but maybe it'll give you a seed to think about, is don't worry about views. And I'm guilty about that on my own, but I remind myself not to worry about the views, because sometimes you just nail it and sometimes it'll just be, you'll think it's a terrible number. Just don't judge it. Just keep making the videos and be consistent and persistent in your message. Your message is your message, Joey. So I hope that helps you. So Norman's was of prayer and determination. Yes, the squeaky wheel. You're saying, I get it now, Norman. Prayer and determination. So keep asking the questions, keep knocking, keep persistent in in your termination. But if you're doing things from the ego, not you, but us, me, myself, I'll talk about. I don't like to look at other people. I like to I look at other people to judge if I will do the things they're doing. I have to judge it, but not judge them, just the behavior, if it's good for my life or not. But if I am acting from the ego and I didn't separate it by calming my mind, then I'm going to be going down the wrong path. So my squeaky wheel might be the ego's squeakiness, the questions I ask. But if it's in prayer, if it's in meditation, and the thoughts come because he's moving me, then that's the message I'm going to send via the video and lose myself in that process. When I'm making the videos, I said this before, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how they're going to come out. And so a lot of times I'm not organized at all. And then the videos come out, and a lot of times I'll watch them and be so moved to tears. So, and I'm so grateful for those thoughts that come into my mind because I'm knocking, and those thoughts that are moved by him, not my own. Sometimes if I get in a disagreement with my wife, that's when I will really know this one's coming from the ego, because that will be the first thoughts that come. And then if my mind is calm enough, I can separate that and say, you'll behave in this way. This is the right way to go, and to be understanding, compassionate, and calm in my responses. So sometimes when I will watch, I don't really watch a lot of expat videos. I just watch Adobo and Apple Pie. That's Joey's channel. And then I watch a few others, but I don't like to watch because even if they're super popular, a lot of times the things they'll say about foreigners and Filipinos, they'll lump them in a basket, like, and label them and be it good or bad. I don't like to do that. I like just to see things unfold as they're happening in real time, and then see what comes from that, and be very patient with myself and very patient with the people I am communicating with, because no matter how much a person's submerged in the culture and even understands the language, you are not, if you are a foreigner, we won't say expat here, we'll say foreigner. If you're a foreigner, you are never going to be a Filipino, but you might have a Filipino heart, but there's a difference there. So for me, a lot of times I will confer to my wife, and other foreigners will see that as weakness, but that is not weakness at all. For me, when I do that, I'm soft with myself and I'm kind to myself, and I see it as a strength to confer to the Filipino that understands the deeper content of the meaning that's being communicated, and then getting that context from the person that you trust and love, and then act from that place if any action's meant to be. Sometimes it's just witnessing and seeing the situation unfold without action at all. So that's my 2 cents. Let's go on to some comments here. Adobo and apple pie. If you guys haven't, let's help out Joey's channel. If he's just watch his content, I'm sure you're going to want to subscribe. He's on my channel. If you go to my main channel and just scroll down a little, it might even show. Let me show you on the stream in a minute. Let's just go through this first. Yeah, stop worrying about views really helps. Thank you. Yeah, no problem, Joey. I'm glad you're hearing that. But for me, I still worry about views sometimes. So I'm still telling you. My wife is the one that tells me, George, Caroline, my wife says, George, stop worrying about views in a nice way. Speaking of my wife, hi, hon, how are you? How are you there? How are you, Diha? Great. Thanks, Caroline. Caroline's working, and I'm going to pick her up at 8 o'clock. She's working at Gaisano for her business, our business, but it's my wife's business. I'm so proud of her. She's an amazing person. Okay, let's go back to what I was going to say I was going to do. My channel. Let's go to my channel. Okay, let me share that. Okay, my channel's here. Let me share this with you guys. So my channel, you scroll down, and there's Joey right here, adobo and apple pie. And then if you click on his channel there, you'll see his wife and his son, their son, mixing American roots with Filipino heart. He has 5 videos right now, but he just started making videos again because, as you can see, 7 or 8 years ago, he had a couple of videos. 12 days ago, he made this video, which is a wonderful video. And then today, he put this out 6 hours ago, 19 views. And Joey's going to explode this channel one day. Okay? There it is. You're welcome, Joey. Adobo and apple pie. Joey, you're very welcome, brother. Let's go back to my wife's message. Hi, hon, how are you there? So, Caroline, I hope you're okay too. I took out my background because it was messing up the stream. I think we haven't dropped. Caroline, if you're around, Caroline, if you're around, just please comment some more. Tell us about the work there and what you're doing. And my wife's going to start doing live streams on Facebook in, I believe, June. In June, she's going to start doing live streams on her Facebook channel for her products. She has wonderful products here in the Philippines. She sells them in Gaisano and San Carlos City. She goes there, I believe, once a week to work, but she's there throughout the week. It's one of her businesses, and people love her products. It's beauty, health, and beauty products. So you could just see what she has if you guys are interested in that. And if you guys are here, I can't see how many people are here, but if you guys are here, I'm going to be editing this video for and just put it out as a video also. So if you're not here for live stream, you can watch it. Let me just see if I'm going to look at my phone here and turn down the sound. Wow, it's showing here. Okay, there's 7 watching. Happy for your wife. Selling products is a great way to make income. Oh, hey, thank you, Joey. Yeah, I know you know about that. I saw your older videos on I don't know if it's this channel, but oh, your other channel, I think. I think you have a good Amazon account. You're selling your product there, the noodles toppings. Caroline, if you're still here, message me again. Leave another message. It might be delayed, but it's okay. And Caroline, I will pick you up at 8 o'clock. I'll leave here at 7:50, so don't worry. Oh, Norman, we'll get to yours in a second. I'll get back to you, Norman. There. Okay, 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 Rocco, Deri, just chilling. Okay, Dai. Nindu kayo, Dai. Make sure kaon ka. Busog kayo, ha? Busog kayo diha. Or or busog ka kaayo. I hope you're busog ka kaayo deri. Or, yeah. Okay, I want to go back to I'm going to get to these other comments, but let me go back to Norman's. Norman is saying Luke 18. So let's go back. Let's share our screen again. I love this, man. Great, Norman. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, we're going to share here again. Can you guys see my screen? I just want to make sure. Someone just tell me you can see my screen and I will continue. Tell me, you guys, can you see this screen? Norman, can you see this? Caroline, Joey, can you guys see this screen before I continue? Where it says Luke 18:1 through 8, the parable of persistent widow. Wow, this is great. I need to see this. Thank you. Thank you so much, Norman, for this one. Just tell me if you guys can see it. Yeah, I think you can see it. I think you can see it. Okay, so let's continue. So this from Norman asked to look up Luke 18, or he told me to look it up because it's the parable of the persistent widow, which I didn't know about. I didn't hear about this, and let's put up your comment first. Let's let's put up your comment first, so everybody's on the same page. Norman. Okay, so Norman said squeaky wheels and persistent widows. Squeaky wheels, I knew that. Persistent widows, did not know that. So let's share again. And then you guys, I'll get to the comments after we do this. Okay, let's go back. Okay. So Luke 18:1 through verses 1 through 8, the parable of persistent widow. And he told them a parable to the effect that they ought always to pray and not lose heart. This is amazing because this is all through Luke 7:7, Luke 7:7, and then also the alchemist. This is all connecting here. And he told them a parable to the effect they ought always to pray and not lose heart. In a certain city, there was a judge who neither feared God nor respected man. And there was a widow in that city that kept coming to him and saying, "Give me justice against my adversary." So against the enemy, I guess. Give me justice against this person. For a while, he refused. So for a while, the judge refused. But afterward, he said to himself, "Though I neither fear God nor respect man, yet because the widow keeps bothering me, I will give her justice, so that she will not beat me down by her continual coming." Wow, that is insane. And the Lord said, "Hear what the unrighteous judge says." And the Lord says, "Hear what the unrighteous judge says. And will not God give justice to his elect who cry to him day and night? Will he delay long over them? I tell you, he will give justice to them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth?" Wow. Wow. I tell you, he will give justice to them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he find will he find faith on earth? Yeah, that's so crazy because that's a question I'm asking too. And I didn't even know about this one. Norman, you're the man. So here's the context. Jesus shares this parable shortly after teaching the Lord's Prayer, Luke 11, and they ask, "Seek not encouragement," Luke 11, 9, 13. He illustrates that if even a self serving judge can be moved by persistent appeal, how much more will our lovely Father in heaven respond to those who pray continually and faithfully? Oh man, that just hit home. That is amazing. Norman, salamat po. Thank you. And I have to say thank you to Leanne also, and of course to God. Thank you, Salama Po Father, for thou hast heard me. I'm not going to say I know you always hear me. I'm going to say I knew you always hear me. Thank you, Father, for thou hast heard me. I knew you always hear me. Look at this is crazy. This is crazy. I hope there's other people that need to hear this too. I needed to hear this today. Key lessons, perseverance and prayer. True prayer isn't a one off, like one time and done. It's not that. It's steadfast, ongoing conversation with God. God's justice versus earthly delay. Wow. Unlike the reluctant judge, God is both righteous and compassionate. He hears and answers without delay. Yeah, that is crazy. God's justice versus earthly delay. Unlike the reluctant judge, God is both righteous and compassionate. He hears and answers without delay. At the same time, true prayer isn't one off. So we're the ones that have to be faithful and persistent and patient. Enduring faith. The parable closes with a sovereign question. When Christ returns, will he find the same faith and persistent in our lives? When Christ returns, will he find the same faith and persistence in our lives? Wow. This really encourages me to just keep getting better and better. I am better. This is what ChatGPT says, the O4 model. Keep a prayer log, set prayer reminders, pray with expectations. Now, you guys, let's over here, let's contrast this. Let's contrast this, right? Let's go back here. Okay, so let's ask Luke. Let's just compare another model, you guys. Hope you don't mind. Let's go to O3 and let's see how it compares. We can open another window, but I'm not going to do that because it's going to mess up the live chat. This one's supposed to be more, the thinking model is supposed to be better. Let's see if it's true. Wow. So it's more information, but it's harder to read because he's using King James Version. Let's go back to this version. Well, let's just keep scrolling down real quick. So this is harder to understand, I think, for most people. Okay, but it's more detailed. Wow, then he really breaks down in a table the themes. Chat GPT o3. There's a persistent widow right there. Never giving up prayer. God hears, continues Christ's perseverance. This is great. Pharisee and tax collector. God justifies the humble, not the self-righteous. Wow. So the Pharisee and tax collector are the self-righteous in this situation. Approach God with repentance, not self-boasting. Yes. Repentance, humbleness, not boasting ourselves like we're doing it all by ourselves. No, it's all me. Children brought to Jesus. The kingdom belongs to the child. Prayer was simple, trust and open-hearted dependence. This is good. This is good stuff. But I want to know this one. Is this the student that he gave first? See, this has the O3 has advanced reasoning. O4 has advanced reasoning too. I wonder which one's better. It's the fastest, but I'm not going to go. I'm going to ask um, which Bible are you pulling this info from. I appreciate it is in simple terms and language. Okay, so I'm going to ask which. Yeah, so he's using one of these different Bibles. But in this case, I'm paraphrasing the meaning of the to make it easy to understand and apply. Thank you. Okay, got it. So you guys can we can compare it to the Bible if you want to go back and compare it. But I appreciate what this is. Blind beggar healed. Bold faith filled cries move Jesus to mercy. Don't fear pressing your deepest need before him. Yeah, this one I remember when the blind beggar when he healed this one. Wow, so wonderful. Okay, so let's go back to the chat. Thank you, by the way, again, Norman. Okay, let me go back. And this is from Crypto Boostbot who works with us. He's a moderator actually. I am not religious person. I do not consider myself religious. But I'm a follower of God and I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. But I am not a religious person. That's all. Okay. Yeah, and Caroline, we know my wife is at work. She's okay, Rako. Okay, Rako, Deri, just chilling. So she's okay. Okay, Joey, this is a nice question. Let's make this longer. Do you ever, we're going to keep this up for a minute. Do you ever have dreams at night that you think are from God? So I guess Joey's asking me this question. Joey, I rarely have dreams like that, but when I do have dreams, I dream of other things, but when I do have dreams that I feel are from the divine presence, to me they're very powerful because they move me to take action right away and they bring me to my knees. So I'll give you an example of one, and then we can talk about your dreams. I the last dream that I had that moved me to. These are not like I'm not talking about videos, but this is back in America when I was meditating like in retreats during that time, and then I would return back home, and then I was probably around 29 years old at that time, and I had a dream that I felt was from God because I was in a supermarket. I'll never forget this dream, and it I was scared of this because when truths come to you and they move you, you should be fearful too. I think because if you make a mistake with your actions, I'm fearful what will happen to me or other people because we have lots of people that have done that before us that have made there's examples in the Bible. They made mistakes with their actions and they fell hard. So I'll just tell you this one dream because it happened so long ago, but I won't say other ones. It doesn't happen to me often. Um, I I manifest things in a different way where they come to me when I'm quiet and meditating and not in dreams. And I get a lot of those pretty much daily. And that's how I make my videos. But I won't share those. Those ones are I'm not going to share. I'm scared to share those. Um, I just want to stay humble. But I will share this one because it happened when I was 29 years old. I was in the supermarket and I was shopping in the dream, and I came up to where they had the cheeses, a lot of different cheese stacked up, and I opened up and I grabbed out for the cheese. And when I grabbed out to the cheese, from the corner of the cheese came light, and the light came into my eyes. And when it came into my eyes, it went inside me, but I can see, not with my eyes, but I can see the person. He had long hair and a beard, and he said, looking through the eyes of Jesus. He said, looking through the eyes of Jesus. And it scared me and it humbled me, and I woke up immediately and started crying. So that's one dream I had. So Joey, can you tell me, does that um, as human beings, when we pray and when we're quiet, God answers all of us. Some people call it different things, but it's the divine presence which is that rules over all things, physical and non-physical, all things seen and unseen in the world, beyond the galaxies and the planets. That was made in 7 days, right? So that presence, those are the divine laws. So man, whatever we say, we can't change that. So just tell me, anyone in here, Joey, I'm asking you, whoever else is in here, if you've had dreams too, if you've had dreams where you felt like they were God, and what happened? What happened? If you can share that, um, let's share. Norman said yes. Caroline said yes. And Leanne said, that's amazing. Wow. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that one. Leanne, tell me, for you, something amazing that's happened to you in your life where if it was a dream or something that made you take such action that it shook you, that it moved you to tears. There's Norman. Norman is such a well read person. Let's grab this. Do Yai Rams. Okay, I'm going to leave that on the stream for a minute. Okay, let's make a new chat. Who wants to pick between these three? Okay, you guys, I'm going to leave it to the chat here. Huh? Widow. Okay, the widow it is. Let's share again. Thank you, Norman. All right, this is cool. Thanks for clarifying, referring to the parable of the persistent widow or importunate widow from the Gospel of Luke. Here's a summary of the passage from Douay Rams Bible. Rhymes. Jesus tells a parable to teach his disciples the importance of persistent prayer and not losing heart. He describes a widow who repeatedly pleads with an unjust judge to grant her justice against her Although the judge adversary, although the judge has no fear of God or respect for people, he eventually grants her request. Not because he is just, because he is tired of her constant appeals and wants to avoid being worn out by her persistence. Okay, so we're going over this again, and now Jesus then contrasts the unjust judge with God's perfect justice, assuring that God will swiftly bring justice to his chosen ones who cry out to him day and night. Wow. However, Jesus ends the parable with the reflective. Wait, before Jesus then contrasts the unjust judge with God's perfect justice, assuring that God will swiftly bring justice to his chosen ones who cry out to him day and night. Okay, let's look at Jesus' parable with a reflective question. Okay, this is another way, another meaning, and this is very amazing. In quotes, but yet the Son of Man, when he cometh, shall he find, think you, faith on earth? Luke 18:8, Douay Rams. Wow. The last question challenges listeners together whether they remain faithful and persevering in prayer until the end. So will Jesus come and find us faithful, those of us that are here? Wow. That is so awesome because that makes you want to be better. It makes us want to be better. Persistent in prayer is essential. God's justice is assured. He is far more just and loving than the unjust judge. Faith and perseverance will be tested until Christ returns. Yes, we can expect this. Would you explain in simpler language expanded devotional reflection? Would you like this explained? No, it's pretty simple, but maybe on another day. Amazing. I'm going to get, this is kind of, let me see if I can make this look better. I can. Okay. So the key themes from what we just read is persistent in prayer is essential. And you guys, I'm just sharing this. This is what's been brought up in the comments. I'm not leading anything here. I'm just sharing as a fellow human being in the most humblest way. I'm grateful for all of you that are here in this live and also for the people that will be coming later, the people that will be watching this after it's the dead space is edited out of this. I will make it a video. Key themes. Persistence in prayer is essential. God's justice is assured. He is far more just and loving than the unjust judge. Faith and perseverance will be tested until Christ returns. That is insane. This is where we're getting a lot of right now. Right now, the chaff is being separated from the wheat. Faith and perseverance will be tested until Christ returns. The world, this is happening globally. Will we continue this, that we're faithful and we keep knocking and we're patient until Christ returns? Okay, before I go to the other ones, let's see what Leanne said. In the end, the most important thing in life is faith, hope, and love, that I believe. Faith is very important. Hope is what God gives us, especially when we're faithful, then hope follows just in that order, just like you. Faith, then hope is there naturally, and then also love. Can these three even be separated? Thank you, Leanne. It's wonderful. I agree with you. Okay, let's go to some of these other. Oh, this is from Leanne also. I had no idea, Leanne. I'm a stroke survivor, November 22nd, 2016. And with my stroke, I also had aphasia, the inability to read, write, and understand. I had to start from scratch. A, B, C's, reading and writing, I have recovered, but wow, you're amazing, Leanne. You're sharp as a tack now with all the comments and the comments you leave in the live streams from the past live streams to today, and all the comments you leave from the videos. I always read all the comments. I see your comments. That's amazing. That's amazing. Your aphasia, was it in a certain lobe or was it throughout? I know aphasia strikes in certain areas of the brain. Did you have like the full aphasia? I mean, I think you did because you couldn't read, write, and understand. There's dysphagia also, right? That's amazing. You had to totally start over. So I think your faith is so unbelievably strong that it cannot be shaken. I think your hope is so unbelievably strong, it will never be moved. I think your love is unbelievably strong, and those that surround you are blessed. And also the love you give to yourself. Thank you for sharing that. There's more. Now I was diagnosed with end stage kidney disease. I need dialysis 3 times a week. It's hard, but it's the hardest thing that happened yet. The greatest thing that happened to me. Why do you say that? It's the hardest thing that happened yet, the greatest thing that happened to me. It's the hardest thing that happened yet. It's the greatest thing that happened to you. Why do you say that? I used to be a dialysis nurse. I know this is no joke. And if you're going 3 times a week, that's no joke. You have to really watch what you eat, your intake of minerals and electrolytes. You have to be so careful. Certain foods you cannot eat. I know that. In my early days, I was a dialysis nurse. It's one of the best jobs I ever had too. Never talked about that. Can you tell us about that though? What? I had my stroke when I was 30 years old. So that was in November 2016. So 30 years old. So 2016, 9 years later. So you're 38 or 39 years old, Leanne? But as Clint Eastwood said in Pale Rider, yeah, Clint Eastwood, faith ain't worth spit without a little sweat. Great movie, great line, many great lines. Clint Eastwood is the one liner. I love that guy. So many great movies. And when Hollywood was going astray, he went to Italy and made some of the greatest movies ever, westerns over there, right? what do they call them? Spaghetti westerns. That's kind of a crazy term, but because it was made in Italy, that's what foreign Americans called it. But as Clint Eastwood said it, power faith ain't worth spit without a little sweat. Great one, Norman. Leanne said her left side, I think. Yeah, you just got struck with that from your stroke. And it's the opposite side, you think, of your body. The side of the brain, this is what they say. I'm not an expert, but just when it happens, say if it was on your left side, then it's going to, if it's the left side of your brain, it's going to, your right side's going to be affected. I don't know if that's true. That's just what I was taught. So I asked Leanne why she said this. Let's go back to this. She said, now I was diagnosed with end stage kidney disease. I need dialysis 3 times a week. It's hard, but it's the hardest thing that happened yet, the greatest thing that happened to me. Okay, yet it's the greatest thing that happened. And asked her why she said that. And this is her answer, because everything happens for a reason. I am very happy now because I am no longer depressed or upset with others. So, Leanne, you say that. I suppose you say that because you know it's really important because of what's happened to you, and that your health is the most important thing now. Your faith in God to you is the most important. Your health is the most important. And your time is the most important, right? So maybe you don't waste time worrying about what other people say or think, right? Is that your meaning? And I asked her, because she said it happened when she's 39. So I asked if she's 39. She said, yes, she's 39. Okay. Coffee, you guys. If you happen to have coffee, this is such a wonderful live. Doesn't matter how many people we have. Right now we have 4 people. We've had more in the past and more before today. Now we're 4, but this is the greatest stream ever. And we're going to edit this and take out the dead space. So we're going to make it a great video, full of hope, full of faith, full of wisdom from the community. So, Leanne, we're waiting for your response. So, yes, exactly. So, okay, so I guess I nailed it with what I said. Thank you, Leanne, for sharing. You're an amazing person. Thank you so much for sharing for all of us. My wife, Caroline, is also watching where she is. And we have a lot to talk about, you know, with all this chat and the things that have been shared. And Leanne, this is thank you for sharing your story. Some of your story is just amazing. It's people like you that make us stronger, make us more faithful, make us appreciate things that we want to appreciate when we see your story. Leanne, you're Filipino, right? You're you're Bisaya and Tagalog speaking, right? If you're still here, the reason I'm saying that I believe you are just because I've asked you things in the past, and all cultures, all across the globe, we're not going to just label one or the other. We really, a lot of us care a lot about what other people think, and we live our life in that way. Yes, you're very welcome. Hi, ma'am, Caroline, fellow Bisaya. Yeah, Leanne. Yes, Bisaya. Yeah, I knew that, but I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like saying something that my mind got wrong. So thank you for clarifying. Thank you for sharing your story. But I noticed in the Philippines, it's very important to save face, and you have to Filipinos, foreigners, all of us, doesn't matter. We just we are always careful of our words, but it's different when you live your life caring so much about what other people think about you because it can ruin your life because you live kind of in fear. You live where you have to do things for other people. It's different than where you do things not to upset your family because, of course, many people in the world and Filipinos are the greatest teachers of this to me, are the greatest teachers of sacrificing for their families, sacrificing for the people they love. But it's different when you care about what everybody thinks about you and you live your life. It doesn't pertain to sacrifices. It just pertains to because you worry about what other people think. And I used to be like that in my life too, living in America. But I changed when I was in my 40s. I really changed because the things I saw in the nursing practice and when working in hospice before that and questioning the things I was doing to make people in the name of comfort. And I'm talking about physical comfort, but I would always try to address the spiritual comfort, not spiritual comfort of the person and their family, not so much as a nurse, yes, as a nurse, but as a fellow human being, not an expert in any way. And I failed greatly at that um, because as a human being, we're not perfect. So, but because of those things I saw, I learned not to care what other people thought about what I'm doing, not to care at all, but to hear them, what they're saying. And if they have good feedback, then sometimes I'll listen to that. But it's different with people you love, your family, right? Because you have to take in what they say and you have to care about that, of course. It's just natural. And you have to take what they say into effect, into the actions that you do in humbling yourself a lot of times and not speaking out and following their direction. But that's different from your heart, from doing the action from your heart and caring about what other people think because of the outcome. And when they question things you do, like you didn't take good care of this person, maybe someone in your family's sick, and maybe someone outside the family said, "Oh, you didn't take care. You could have done this." You heard that they're talking like that. You heard that. That one is like that could be very hurtful, but I heard things like that for me also. I heard things when loved ones fell away and I wasn't there. And other people said those kind of things and it was hurtful things. And it hurt me, of course, because we're human, but I didn't live my life caring what they said. I just yeah, they said that. Okay, doesn't matter. Just that's a human to human. I'll just be a better person, that's all. And for other people I've seen, I won't say names or anything, but just other people I've seen in passing and people I know where people that I love, they're at an age where they're young and they of course when you're young, you're probably going to care a lot unless you have a very mature mind, you're going to care what other people say or think until you've had enough. And I think in Leanne's situation, she's been through hell and back, having a stroke in November 2016 and then at the age of 39 and then um, having to start over because she can't even write, she can't think, she can't connect her thoughts, she can't read when she's reading things not connecting because when it's crossing the brain, it's not working or wherever, whatever. We won't say it in a medical way. It's just that's what happens. And then she's able to get back up. How strong is that Filipina? Estig kayo, esu kayo. So brave and strong you are, Leanne. So anyway, that's what I have to say on that. Cherise, hi again. Hello and good evening, everyone. Good evening to you right back. Norman, pray as if it all depends on God, but work as if it all depends on you. Author unknown. Oh, man. Let's contemplate that one for a second. Pray as if it all depends on God, but work as it all depends on you. That is so true. Thank you, Norman, for this one because that one is so powerful. Give your prayer to God, give everything to God, but work as it all depends on you. Whatever you're focused on, do it like that, and easily you will find your purpose. Yeah. There's another example of that saying in a different way where I heard someone say, a person was commenting saying they were blaming God because they prayed for things and it didn't happen. And then someone said back to them, God has already done everything. Everything's been done by God. God is giving you all the tools. So God's busy. It's up to you. That's the way that person said it to that commenter. But this one is I like this one. This one's insane. Pray as if it all depends on God, but work as it all depends on you. One minded, single minded, like you're putting your hair out from fire. Focus like you're putting your hair out on fire. You cannot fail. Thank you, Norman. Oh, Leanne, you're welcome, but thank you. We're grateful to you. Thank you, Leanne. Okay, you guys, I think that's going to be it for tonight. I'm maybe we'll stay on for 10 more minutes. Let's stay on for 10 more minutes and then I will get ready and do the things I have to do and go get Caroline. I'm going to pick up my wife at Gaisano. So you guys, 10 more minutes and we'll close this out. So we'll say 7:10. Okay, you guys, I want to share my screen one more time. Maybe we can close it out with this. If you guys have more comments, please feel free to drop them. I'll answer before I go. I'm going to share one more thing with you. So I don't know if you guys saw this post. I know some of you saw this, but I left this post because post isn't really, it doesn't really get shared easily on YouTube. Um, but I shared this 6 days ago. The quiet sacrifices of our parents built the ground we now stand on. whether it was long hours of work, simple meals shared at a small table, or lessons passed on through quiet actions. Their love shaped the lives we live today. Every sacrifice, every moment of patience, every silent prayer over our futures, it all mattered, and it still does. Let's honor them not just with words, but by the way we live, with faith, gratitude, and love. Maraming Salamat po to all the parents and grandparents who gave more than they ever received. You are the true heroes of our homes. Wishing you and your families all of God's peace and love. All right, you guys. Any more comments before I leave? Any more things you guys would like to see? Types of videos that you're interested in? Norman. Norman said, as it is, was, and ever will be, but by the grace. Well said, Norman. Thank you. As it is, was, and ever will be, but by the grace. Wonderful, Norman. Thank you guys for coming to this live stream. Around 5 more minutes, you guys, and then we're going to cut out. I wonder if I can place this. Okay, let me go back. So I asked if you guys would recommend any videos or things you want to see. And Leanne said, thank you, Leanne. More views about your daily routine. More view. So more like daily, like instead of with music, more like what we're doing throughout the day. Like maybe a video like morning routine video, maybe a video when we're doing different things within the house and outside the house, something like that. Is that what you're wanting, Leanne? Just let me know. That's a good suggestion, by the way. I want to do things like that, but I want to cut out a lot of the dead space. I saw my last video where I did that. We just made one like that, and I didn't cut out the dead space, so I'm going to do that next time. Maybe I can go while we're here. Let's go back here and let's make a post. Let's do a poll. Keep rejoicing. Okay, I'll get back to these in a second, you guys. More views about your daily routine. Okay, I'm going to put that there. We're going to do it though. What types of vlogs would you like to see more of our channel? Option. More on your daily routines in and outside the home environment. More music, voice, voice style. Okay, that's posted, you guys, as you can see. A simple, more on your daily routines in and outside the home environment. Continue with voiceover, musically storytelling style. There it is. I think that's pretty clear. So it's there. Go vote, you guys. Okay, thank you, Leanne. I got that. I got that post up. I just posted it on Raising Roots Abroad, the community post there. They changed the name to post. Um, go vote on that, you guys. But I'm going to do it anyway, probably. But just go vote on that. Just see what the community wants, the whole community. But Leanne, I'm going to do that for sure. I like that what you said. Then Norman said, "Keep rejoicing. Keep rejoicing. Excellent. Keep rejoicing." Thank you, Norman. We're going to keep rejoicing. I wish I knew more about Norman, but we're going to go today. Norman, come to the next live stream and tell us, like you, Leanne told her story. I mean, she's really told like so much about her story, and it's really good to know that. Norman, I just want to know where you get your deep thinking from. That's all. Tell me about your life, where you've lived, um, things like that. Where you've lived, what kind of experiences you've had to make you, um, to lead you to where you are actually. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, the community, and we'll see you on the next one. Be on the lookout for this video, you guys. It's gonna be the next video. I'm gonna edit this. Okay. All right. Let's say bye for now. Thank you very much, everyone. Oh, I better stop. Stop it first.